With us now is Congressman James Walkinshaw, a Democrat from Virginia, who sits on the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, this list meant to provide information about everyone who was named in the Epstein files, named at all, but it includes people, who may be connected to some of the things that went on, but it also includes Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley. What do you think the Department of Justice is up to here, and what are we supposed to take from it?
I think the release of this list was an attempt to just muddy the waters, I guess. And look, I wish what they had done on that list is next to each of the 300 names, add how many times each name was mentioned in the files and rank order them. And if they had done that, Donald Trump would be at or very near the top because he's mentioned thousands and thousands of times, far more than Janis Joplin or Elvis Presley.
Yeah. Janis Joplin died in 1970, Elvis died in 1977, Marilyn Monroe, I think, in 62. So they've been gone a long time. And being mentioned in an email here puts them in a very different place than potentially other people listed in these files. Secretary Clinton just did an interview with the BBC where she accused the Trump administration of a cover-up with the Epstein files. She said she and her husband were being used to divert attention away from President Trump. The president was just asked about this on Air Force One, and this is what he said.
I have nothing to hide. I've been exonerated. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. They went in hoping that they'd find it and found just the opposite. I've been totally exonerated. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein was fighting that I don't get elected with some author, a sleazebag, by the way, and I've been totally exonerated. No, they're getting pulled in, and that's their problem.
So what's your reaction to that?
Well, it's a lie. I mean, he hasn't been exonerated. For him to say he had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein is flat out absurd. I mean, one of the things we have learned through these files, through the subpoena of the Oversight Committee, is that Trump's relationship with Epstein was much longer and much deeper than he has revealed publicly, and he has been lying about it for decades. I reviewed an illegally redacted file at the Department of Justice where Epstein's lawyers were recounting a conversation they had with Donald Trump where he essentially denied that he had ever been on Epstein's plane, where he admitted that he didn't remove Epstein from Mar-a-Lago as he had claimed and continued to claim until relatively recently. He had a very long, deep relationship with Epstein. He lied about it, continues to lie about it, and he did everything he could to prevent the release of these files. And his Department of Justice continues to cover them up by not fully releasing them and over-redacting them.
He's never been charged with the crime and never been accused by law enforcement of any crime or connection to Jeffrey Epstein like that. But Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, we have reporting tonight from Kristen Holmes, our CNN reporter, that Howard Lutnick was on Air Force One with President Trump flying back from Palm Beach. That's notable because Howard Lutnick is mentioned in the Epstein files, and we learned from reading them that he had lunch with Epstein more than a decade after he said he cut ties. So what do you think about them sharing a flight tonight?
When we first learned about Lutnick's deep relationship with Epstein, I said to myself, maybe Trump will cut him loose, make him the fall guy for this, because Lutnick lied to the American people, including his boss, Donald Trump. But then I realized if Lutnick were to resign or be forced out because of his deep ties to Jeffrey Epstein that he lied about, what would that say about Donald Trump, who's also lied about his deep ties to Jeffrey Epstein? So I think Trump is going to keep Lutnick closer than ever because they are so connected in this Epstein saga.
Representative Walkinshaw, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.